and female gentlemen, welcome back to another deep dive on a retrospective drama situation that I have missed because I've been getting canceled for other things, and I totally missed this whole situation. There's this video game called Concord. Apparently $100 million was spent on this video game, and it is probably the biggest flop in gaming history. Now, there are multiple reasons why that is. Probably not at all because it was pandering to some sort of facet of the gaming community which they make believe exists but doesn't actually exist. So we're gonna be diving into it. The first way to get our deep dive on this lore is through Asmongold Clips channel, as we tend to do. We look into the Asmongold Clips, then we're gonna look into Hero Hayes coverage of it. Apparently they made a video that failed. They made another video, they released the game that flopped, and then they responded to the haters in a hilarious way that I didn't actually look into yet. So we are looking into this together. We are doing the entire retrospective lore deep dive on Concord to see exactly how big this dumpster fire is. My guess is that if they've actually made an $100 million game, they at least paid back something. Or not, and it's even funnier. Welcome to the epicenter of chaos. Whammon and gentle whammon, brokies and wokies of all ages, breasticles and testicles that made it here. Subscribe, leave a like. We're diving into more failures in the video game community. And let's see what we got.
Yeah, so Black Myth Wukong, this is crazy, has sold 10 million copies. That's right. Insane. For
I bought one of them. I am one of them. I am one of these 10 million people.
Context, Dragon's Dogma 2 sold a little bit over 3 million copies a few months after the game. Like, this game went hard as fuck. Woo! You call that a success? Check out the Concord just released. It did it?
600 players in an $100 million game. Guys, but they were so inclusive. They were so inclusive. They should have more players because of the inclusivity and diversity. Wukong isn't diverse. So why does Wukong have players?
Maybe it's because the number is so big that the estimation, they can't estimate how big the number is.
Yeah, probably.
No, that stands for the 600. This is for each millions of dollars that they lost on the game. And the crazy thing is, like, I remember they pay Lyric to play it a little bit.
That's a character? I'm just realizing how offensive that might have sounded. I didn't mean it that way. When that's the first reaction, it's not a good sign. That wasn't even criticism. That was just asking, okay? Guys, we have Warhammer 40k at home. Warhammer 40k at home.
You know what they should have done? They should have paid me not to talk about the game. I think this should be the new sponsorship. Game developers.
Why is she dressed like a hot dog?
That have bad games.
What is with the purple poofs of hair?
I think they should pay me not to talk about the game.
I disagree. I think they should pay me to talk about the game. I'll sponsor any of them. Listen. I'll get sponsored. I'll promote this shit. Someone needs to. What am I is this Aunt Marge?
Is that
Aunt Marge post the fucking situation?
Is that called extortion?
No, that's called inflation. Oh, that was not nice. Anyway, moving on. I can't believe this is a real fucking game. Like these character designs are like what everyone wants to be. You know how most video games used to try to make character designs that make people like want to emulate the characters in the game, like get lost in the world? You can get lost in her breathtaking amount of character. There's more of her than there is of most other characters. So like that's something. Like let's keep going. Okay, so anyway, apparently they fucked up big time, and Asmongold made another video on it.
Yeah, here we go. Concord Beta has
This isn't a $100 million game. How on earth do you have 27 people playing it? Oh my god, bro.
Man. It was the most mid game ever to the year. Well, what I'm saying is, like, people were very critical of this game because they didn't like the fact that, like, they didn't like the way the characters look. They didn't like the fact they had like the characters' pronouns on like the top right.
Anchor, he, him.
It's a robot. I can't believe this. I can't believe this. I can't believe this. God.
I'm playing Anchor, he, him.
It's a robot. Why does he need pronouns?
And look, the game is not doing well. And you've got to keep in mind, right? You know how much money they probably put into this trailer?
Like 100. Oh, the trailer.
This was a huge amount of work. Like this was...
Dude, this is fucking good. This is a good animation.
They put a lot of work into this. Like, just look at the CGI. That's really good. They went in on this. If the trailer looks this good, I got a feeling that this game probably cost them a lot of...
God, it's just fucking... Is this just Overwatch? Is this just, like, lame Overwatch?
Money to make. Somebody's gonna say it's a beta. It doesn't matter. Pal World was in beta. People do not care if the game is in beta or not. If
people care if it's a good game, what does this game do? See, like let me tell you the major difference between Concord and Overwatch. I'm gonna lay this out to you, and you guys are gonna all submit to the whims of my intellect. Okay? Overwatch characters are literally promoted by the fucking porn artists, okay? The Overwatch community is held on the shoulders of the porn gamers. Those fucking mad lads have fucking Overwatch porn subreddits with like 25 billion users on there or some shit. All right, they literally, who's making porn of these characters? These characters, they don't have that appeal. Something that's important to mention is the fact that this game came out trying its best to just be another version of a game that already exists. Why would someone pay $40 for Concord for a game that's exactly the same as Overwatch with uglier characters? You need to take risks at some point. You can't just reskin existing games and think you'll succeed because, well, they succeeded, we'll succeed too.
If it's a good game and it's playable, then people are gonna play it. That's it. It's a closed beta. You buy the game, then you get access to the beta. Is that correct?
Not only you get access to the beta,
$40, holy shit.
but you also get 4 free codes to share with your friends.
They are literally having a buy one, get 4 free. They are literally giving away fucking games. They can't get players. They have 27 players, and they're giving away games. The matchmaking must be abysmal. You're gonna sit in the freaking lobby for 4 hours until you get a game.
Quite the gap. You know what the funniest thing about
Character, alt bunny. What's it, intensive care? Yeah, I don't know. I would also need to go into intensive care if I looked like that. Probably, my carotid artery probably wouldn't be able to make it.
this is? Put it into perspective. There are probably more people that have bought the Ultimate Bunny skin on the First Descendant store than have purchased Concord.
Oh, real true. You don't understand. Let me explain something else to you, okay? I have a Patreon, okay? People that go to my Patreon give me money to support me because I'm putting the work in and my videos get demonetized and copyrighted or whatever. They are not getting anything for supporting me on Patreon. Their support to me on Patreon does not get them shit. I have more patrons than this game sold copies. Nuxanor, some random 2D idiot on the internet that's not even claiming to give you stuff for your Patreon subscription. And I have more patrons than this game sold copies. You're not even getting a game by supporting me on Patreon. It's super appreciated, but like, guys, you're getting nothing by doing it aside from my appreciation. How do I have more patrons than this game sells copies? Let that sink in. They spent $100 million. I fucking go on stream and slop out 12 videos on Nuxanor. Guys, this is crazy. Yeah, subscribe. Join the epicenter of chaos. Laugh at the idiots.
That's crazy. But that's like it. Yeah, that's crazy, man.
This is insane. All right, so Hero Hey made a bunch of videos. The Concord dev lost his mind. More Asmongold. Let's go.
Dev writes off critics. Why would I care?
The results aren't in yet, guys. Subscribe to find out if I'm actually racist.
About a bunch of talentless freaks hating on it. Admittedly, things started off innocently enough, with Feral taking to their Twitter to congratulate the Concord team on the release of their title. It's Concord release day, so insanely proud of the team and what we have accomplished.
They have 60 players.
Labor of love like nothing else. Been playing it so much since early access.
He has been one of the 60 players.
Started a few days ago. Excited for it to be available to everyone. Unfortunately, from there, things took a sharp turn to disaster. In response to Feral's post, Twitter
I'm here for some disaster. Let's fucking go.
User Preston5527226.
That's a bot.
To offer their genuine condolences for Concord's abysmal reception.
Oh no! Oh no! No way! There is no way! Oh my god! How did they spend $100 million on this game and it's worse than Golem? Oh my lord, that's so funny.
Telling them, I'm so sorry this has to be your first. I do not believe it's you or any other dev's fault that this game has performed so poorly. And I can tell a lot of effort was put into completing this game. It just came at the wrong time and the wrong genre.
Yeah, if the game wouldn't be shit and the character models wouldn't look like shit and people would be brain dead and everyone would just make a free $40 that they could literally only spend on woke games, then maybe people would have bought this game.
But rather than thanking them for their message, liking their post, or simply acknowledging their post in private, Feral instead offered a now deleted reply. I don't really care.
Sure, you're complaining on Twitter about your failure because you don't really care.
It was a huge labor from a lot of insanely talented people making an awesome game.
Why you gotta throw all these people under the bus by saying that they contributed to this game?
Why would I care about what a bunch of about a bunch of talentless freaks hating on it.
I'm just saying, this talentless freak right over here, this guy, this little fucking goofy animated talentless freak on your screen right now, more people paid my Patreon for nothing in return than paid for your awesome game.
I'm sure having fun playing it, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. I wouldn't trade it for... I feel like that's not true. That is in denial. Calling your audience talentless freaks will go well. Talentless freaks actually came to drop some positive criticism, and I got fucked. Clearly, based on the game, you're the one with no talent. Well, here's the thing. I'm sure that everybody else on the Concord development team really appreciates their neurodivergent ally here, adding unnecessary fuel to the fire that's already burning very hot to begin with. This was 8 years, over $100 million for a player base of 423.
It took them 8 years and $100 million to make this game. What? If I was them, I would be actually suicidal. I'm not gonna lie. Listen, I don't use that word lightly. Just realistically, putting myself in their shoes for a second, I think I would actually be suicidal. If I worked on something for 8 years, spent $100 million on a game, and it was incredibly generic dog shit that was ratioed by Golem, I would absolutely need to check into a mental hospital. Or you could just simply go on Twitter, call them talentless freaks and bigots. That's why they hate you.
We have somebody here who's decided to basically take a bad situation and make it worse because their ego got hurt. It's crazy, man. Game has more pronouns than player.
That's the best roast I've heard in my fucking life. That's a 10 out of 10 fucking roast. Holy shit, that's so good.
That's bad.
Let's do the full deep dive. We gotta give this the full fucking deep dive.
Things are swiftly getting worse for Concord. In this video, I'll bring some brief updates to you as we continue laughing at this dumpster fire. As you know, Concord released on August 23rd, and during...
Is there a single character that doesn't weigh 400 pounds in this game? Listen, I'm just saying, us not obese people are feeling very excluded right now.
In that release period, there were 4 major gaming studios working together to desperately try and hype this game up. And we all know the game is failing, but it's gotten even worse, which we'll talk about...
Oh, good. There's a skinny character right here. Yes, it's a fungus, but that's okay.
Later on in the video. So looking back at these attempted hype tweets, it's just that much more funny. We had Sony Santa Monica saying, "Congratulations to Firewalk Studios for the release of Concord. Time to head on board the North."
I love how like different gaming companies are just saying, "Oh, Concord, thank you so much for being so brave and awesome and cool." Meanwhile, they know that literally no one is gonna fucking play that game anyway. They're literally promoting competition that isn't competition.
A star and joined the crew. Swiftly followed by Sucker Punch Productions minutes later, saying, "A massive congratulations to our friends at Firewalk Studios on the global launch of Concord today.
Huge.
This weekend is going to be a blast." And then we had Ben Studios saying, "To celebrate the launch of Concord, the Ben devs are taking it to the galaxy."
Ben Studio. The Ben Studio over here are bending over backwards to try to suck slorp out of someone's cock in order to come up with a reason why it's worth promoting this game. This is crazy. This is like actually tragic.
And streaming live right now. Come on.
When are people gonna recognize that this is a fucking failing industry as long as you keep releasing the same fucking slop that everyone else does, except literally making it worse than what existed before?
Here.
This is the anti-innovation. It's like we used to live in a world where innovation was actually what was focused on. We are living in a society where it's actual anti-innovation.
And then Insomniac joins in on this, quote retweeting Ben Studio and saying, "We're playing Concord with our friends on Ben Play."
Oh my god, that is literally all the people playing Concord at that moment.
And as we know, all of these attempted hype tweets seem to have done nothing for the game. Same with those journalists that tried like hyping this game up to like,
let's give Concord a chance. Game journalists are literally useless fungi. They're not real people. They don't deserve human rights like most people do, in my opinion. So the human rights tier list, we've already established this. Of course, we have S tier human rights that goes to children. Children have S tier human rights. We don't deal with that shit. In A tier, we have everyone else. Everyone else goes in general population. A tier for human rights. All right. In the B tier human rights category, we get like influencers, YouTubers in general, public figures. Those guys all go into B tier on the human rights list. In C tier, we have politicians. Politicians get C tier human rights. Still have human rights, but to a lesser extent. You know, whatever, C tier. And then in D tier, you have journalists. Journalists are basically subhuman filth. They're still on the tier list altogether, so that's pretty good. They do technically have human rights, but only technically. Like, they're D-tier human rights.
Give Concord a chance.
I wonder why the journalists don't write positive articles about me. Well, we figured it out, guys.
Everybody. So let's hop over to SteamDB for today. Take a look at this game now. Right away, you can see that the chart is just in a perpetual decline so far, with lower highs and lower lows.
If you think about it, though, as long as it keeps declining, that means it had a place to decline from. That's a positive. 24-hour
peak player count of 402, and currently playing, as of recording, 243.
Woo-hoo!
At the rate that this is going, it seems actually pretty probable that Concord will have to give serious consideration to either making this game free to play or just admitting that they have to take a loss on this game and refunding people or something. Because for a brand new game that relies completely on co-op, this just doesn't look sustainable at all. The less players
this looks like shit too. Just look at this gameplay.
That there are, the longer the queue times will be. And the longer that the queue times are, it's going to just exponentially make less people play because they don't want to wait around. Hopping over to our Concord, we can see 10 hours ago this post titled Matchmaking After Launch Weekend, saying, so just waited 8 minutes for matchmaking and then it timed out.
Oh my god. This is like when you're on fucking hold with some goddamn bank or some shit. And they're like, oh, we'll just put you on hold while we get the manager. And then you're listening to the awful shower elevator music while you're waiting for them to get someone. Then 10 minutes into the fucking hold phone call, they just turn it off and then you call again and you're back at the back of the line. Oh my lord.
I love the game and want to play it. Unfortunately, I can't wait 8 minutes plus between games.
Remember, this is someone who actually likes the game.
Decide to play something else and come back on peak hours. This really doesn't look
Peak hours. Peak hours.
promising at all. One of the top responses actually defends Concord a little bit, but provides some very real criticism too. Let's take a look. This user saying, the matchmaking is unfortunately the byproduct of the game's popularity. Time to connect to a game aside. Games are already turning into 5-stack mega fans against a bunch of
sounds like the racists are slowing the queue times.
fields that run objective modes like they are a Call of Duty deathmatch, looking after their KD for some unknown reason, or trophy hunters that just roll the same character all game in a vain effort to take off a couple of kills on whatever character they are currently leveling. Solo queuing is already getting pretty horrible, not even a week into launch. It's probably the most satisfying PvP game I've played in a long time during balanced games, but it already feels like I'm seeing the red flags of end-of-life matchmaking when jumping into lobbies by myself. It's a shame, but I kinda knew that was what I was getting into when I bought it.
These people should not be allowed to spend $40. They should have people looking at their credit cards to make sure they're not accidentally using it for places that, and in ways that are relatively negligent. Like, this is a person that's actually a fan of the game. Like, this is someone that loves the game and still cannot fucking play it. Like, you have to be a dedicated simp for this shit. Like, I have more respect for OnlyFans tier 3 subs than for people that wait 8 minutes for matchmaking on a game that they spent $40 for that kicks them out of the matchmaking queue, and the game is shit too. Like, this is like some crazy masochist kink going on.
So yeah, all the stuff that we already went over showing how much trouble this game's in, and even people who like the game admitting that this looks like an end-of-life situation, not even a week after release.
It's like they released the game on a fucking ventilator.
It's looking pretty dunzos. Gonna be very difficult for Concord to turn this around. So as mentioned, maybe they go free to play and make it up to the people who actually bought the game by giving them a cosmetic or something else. Or maybe they do admit it's a total loss.
Refund everyone! Make it free to play, refund everyone, and just hope. Like, what are you gonna do? The game was, you spent $100 million on this game.
Close up shop and refund everyone. We'll have to wait.
Or, I have another idea. Release one hot character. Like, one hot character in the game, okay? Just one generically, you know, Stellar Blade-like character. And just see what happens. Just see what happens. One Genshin Impact-looking guy.
Wait and see how this ultimately plays out. Let me know what you think about all of this stuff.
This keeps getting crazier. Apparently, Concord is a historic failure, which is pretty good to hear. I love when people fail at doing awful things, because it hopefully prevents future people from doing awful things. You might think that I am a bad guy by laughing at the failures of people that spent so much time and money on this. That was the end of the sentence.
Hey guys, so Concord has officially released, and the launch is going really well. I mean, not for Concord, that's a terrible launch.
The launch is going well. You know, for people making fun of Concord.
For the game itself. However, it is a wonderful launch for people laughing at the game.
Yes!
Because there's just so much entertainment
yes! Here. Epicenter of Chaos Gamers, subscribe.
Okay, let's enjoy this together. First of all, how bad is this launch?
All right, good question.
As of recording, they've hit a all-time peak player count of 697.
Sheesh. And this is with people like XQC playing the game in front of like 100,000 people, and they couldn't get more than 697. Bro, they got ratioed by Golem!
And that figure is even significantly lower than what they had during their open beta, where they had around 2,400 peak concurrent players. Now, there doesn't seem to be any concrete evidence for exactly how much this game may have cost to make. However, current speculation ranges from about 50 million to 150 million USD.
Holy shit. Oh my god.
And it's looking highly unlikely that
you know how much it costs me to record this video and upload it to YouTube and probably get like whatever 50,000 views at least on this video? Nothing. And that's more people than played your fucking game. I'm gonna get more views on a video of me just yapping on a stream than this game sold, and they spent $100 million on it. Like, recognize how fucking funny that is.
This game will even hit the break-even point, let alone reaching profitability. Also, keep in mind this game is currently selling for $39.99, unless someone gets the deluxe edition, which will be $59.99.
The deluxe edition.
So it looks like one of Concord's devs is currently freaking out on Twitter.
Oh, let's go.
This screenshot by Permaban.
Oh my god, this guy.
And showing this dev saying, "I'm so honored to have had this be my first AAA game. Was a huge learning experience. Lots of struggles, but I'm glad to have gone through them. Time to go play."
Time to go play with the fucking cyanide pill.
And then a series of tweets that they
I mean, I hope this guy's taking care of himself. I hope this fellow's okay. But this is very lame.
seem to be hiding, saying, "Pay me $8 to unhide your tweet," etc., etc. In a different response, that same person saying,
"Pay me $8 to unhide your reply." He's hoping to make back $8 of the $100 million that were spent on this shit. Listen, I don't believe in better help, but this guy needs a fucking therapist right now. Like, I'm actually worried for this person.
"Hey, I don't really care. It was a huge labor from a lot of insanely talented people making an awesome game. Why would I care about a bunch of talentless freaks hating on it? I'm sure having fun playing it, and I wouldn't trade it for anything."
Right.
However, we won't be able to see more than that because they've since protected their entire account. I guess maybe they really did.
No! I can't believe it. The gameplay animator at PUBG Studios and previously on Concord, them privated their Twitter account? That's awful.
Care what people had to say. Looks like the gaming journalists aren't taking this whole situation too well either. Over on The Gamer, an article was written saying, "Let's give Concord a chance."
Dude, imagine being a fucking news site and begging people to give a chance to this game. Like, what is wrong with you? Could there please be one actual not brain dead game journalist? It literally isn't hard to just make fun of these idiots. Like, how is there not a gaming site for people that actually criticize games properly? Why does this not exist?
And seemingly hours later, another journalist at The Gamer make an article titled, "Concord has yet to crack 1,000 players on Steam. Yikes."
Yikes, we just say yikes.
And if we hop over to the article titled, "Give Concord a Chance," there's something rather amusing I'll point out. Their final paragraph saying, "If we cared about good games, not just parroting what random influencers said during the reveal,
Oh my God.
Concord's clever character moments and unique hero shooting should have earned it some time to work out the kinks."
This is like a fucking brain dead take. To think that YouTubers actually have this level of power. Like, these people that made Star Wars Acolyte have the same fucking bat up their ass. They're all morons. Literally all idiots. Let me make something so incredibly clear. YouTubers have no power. The only power that YouTubers has is if they say things that their audience agrees with. You think YouTubers can say that a game is bad and people won't play the game? Most people never heard of any YouTuber individually. Like, this is so wild, so baffling. It's like, it's so disturbing to think that this is like some really wild zinger that every single person uses now. Oh, why aren't people watching The Acolyte? Oh, because YouTubers said it was bad. Oh, why aren't people playing Concord? Oh, because YouTubers said it was bad. You know, YouTubers only have their reputation. If I made terrible takes in every single one of my videos, people would not trust my takes. It's only by the fact that I've built some sort of connection with my community that people trust what I have to say. Not that they should. They should take everything that I say with the biggest grain of salt possible, okay? I am here to fucking frolic in the chaos, all right? But even so, this is wild.
Now I find this hilarious for two main reasons. One, it's like the journalist is trying to have some immense cope about people overall disliking this game. The fact is, people have seen this game for themselves, and they've come to their own conclusion. Just because that's negative doesn't mean it's not authentic. And two, where he talks about influencers, that's actually something that PlayStation did. Because 8 days ago, PlayStation released this YouTube video titled Concord Beta Reaction Trailer, where they seemingly paid a number of random influencers to react to Concord with this like over-the-top fake hype sort of reaction.
I have never heard of any of these people.
However, that only hurt the game even more, as people laughed at how fake it seemed and how
It's Timmy! No!
it all came off.
I have to see this video. This
Feels good. All the heroes are very unique, and there's a lot of them.
This is really cool. Really cool select.
Having its blast playing this. I'm going in.
I'm having a blast playing this.
Get yourselves in the game. I'm trying to feast.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
Oh wow. Oh wow, guys. Oh wow.
I got a kill.
Also, that one person mentioned liking the character.
Wait, I have to see that. That's actually wild. I've never seen something that sad in my life. PlayStation Concord.
Hey, what's up, guys? Today we're playing Concord.
Some characters available, 5v5 PvP modes across the galaxy. Let's game.
Whoa, that's so cool.
Ah, gotcha. Was gerade gemacht, Mann.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
The game is snappy, combat feels good, all the heroes are very unique, and there's a lot of them.
This is really cool. Really cool.
Having its last playing this, I'm going in.
Get yourselves in the game. I'm trying to feast.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
I got a kill.
I am developing a taste for destruction.
Give me them projectiles.
Bro, look at that laugh. Just I can't. I could have paused on every single one of these reactions, but look at this guy laughing.
Give me them projectiles.
This character is insane.
Well, I don't know any of these people, bro.
Give me them
That's the beat. Look, I'm not no hate to any of these people, obviously, but I don't know any of them.
This character.
Queen E. Who is this? I want to know. This is not being insulting towards Queen E, but like there are a lot of VTubers out there. Okay, so Queen E has 80,000 followers on Twitch. She's not a nobody. Oh, she's an Overwatch streamer. That's why I don't ever heard of her.
There's insane.
Wow.
Nice. Let's go.
Very nice, very nice.
Dude, the fake orgasms.
Who's got smacked?
I got one.
I'm getting. Whoa.
Let's go!
I like this. I like this.
I like this. I like this. I like this. Guys, I like this. Did I mention that I like this? Is it clear? Is it out? Is it in the final footage that I mentioned that I like this? Wow, I'm gaming. I'm gaming. I love how their commentary is like, I am literally playing a game right now. It doesn't feel like it because the game is bad, but I am playing the game. I do like this. There are characters in this game.
Also, that one person mentioned liking the character roster. Well, I know the roster's been out for a while, but let's chat about that really quick. Why do so many of these designs look AI generated? They'll like almost have a pattern or a theme going on, but then there's like random colors or random stuff just mashed in, like you'd see from some AI generated slop. To be fair, there is probably a way to make that work, but the way they did it just looks messy. Back to the journalists. Here's
the journalists. Let's go. D-tier humans. Let's
some more
go.
Journalists, all confused about Concord flopping. Paul Tass.
I knew this wouldn't go well, but this is legitimately weird. Suicide Squad launched 20 times the players. I'm wondering if there's something else going on. What? The timing's weird too. Like it peaked early afternoon. Didn't even add a couple 100 players after America.
Saying, I knew this wouldn't go well, but this is legitimately weird. SSK the JL launched with 20 times as many players. Now, if you don't know, Paul Tassi is affiliated with Forbes, while Gene Park is affiliated with Washington Post.
Nice.
And so Gene Park then responds to Paul Tassi, saying, I'm actually wondering if there's something else going on. Whoa, what could that be? Paul Tassi then responding, saying, the timing is weird too. Like it peaked early afternoon and didn't even add a couple 100 players after work and school in America. I don't get it. I think it's pretty obvious what's going on here, man. This $40 game. And there's other games people would
just
rather
don't like
use their time in.
Because the game is shit. It's a wild concept. Guys, look, it's the fucking most normal shit in the universe. If the product is bad, people won't buy the product. Like, this is like literally marketing 101. You don't need me, freaking anime loser on the internet, to tell you this. This is like the most brain-rotted discourse I've ever seen in my life. How are people gonna sit here and talk about, I can't believe how historic of a failure this has become. There must be something going on here. Guys, the game is bad. The game is bad. The product is terrible. Oh my god, the product is bad and people aren't paying for it? That's crazy. Holy shit, they're morons. They're actually morons. The monkey game is fun, so people play the monkey game. God damn.
Money on, even in the same genre. Heck, like I pointed out way earlier in the video, even a lot of their own beta testers apparently haven't come back to this game. Another tweet by Paul Tassi saying, have been waiting several hours for Concord players to break 700, and it has not happened yet. He then added, it's been 2 more hours and it still hasn't.
Because people start it and drop it because it's bad. Okay, when I play a really bad game, you know what I do when I'm not enjoying myself? I stop playing the really bad game. Oh my god. I can't believe it. 2 hours didn't increase the view count. No shit, because the people that were playing it 2 hours ago aren't playing it anymore. Moist Critical just made a video, is Star Wars Outlaws worth buying? And I thought that he did a pretty fucking baller job here. Like, he did a really good job. This is an important tangent, okay? So he asks the question in the title, is Star Wars Outlaws worth buying?
No.
Thank you, Moist Critical, for the riveting commentary. You have saved me literally so much money and time and effort. Fucking legend. We appreciate you immensely. That's the point. It's just not worth my time. So no shit, it's bad.
I'm genuinely wondering if something is glitching.
What does that mean, glitching? It's a bad why do these people need some sort of conspiracy theory? Ah, yes, it's the anti-wokes in the government that are hiding the true numbers.
It's the 70th something most sold game on Steam, which isn't good, but like, you would have to imagine there'd be more than this. It's really funny how Gene Park was saying that he wonders if something else was going on here. And Paul Tassie's like wondering if something's glitching. Over on the Concord subreddit, someone asked, why are the characters so hideously ugly? To which the moderators removed the interpost. One of the comments responding blames all the backlash on racist, homophobic...
That's it, baby. It's the racists. It's always the racists.
Incels. And saying that they can't stand a diverse group of characters. But
these people are so fucking brain dead, it's insane.
Here's the thing, a lot of those character designs are just really ugly and lame looking. If anyone's trying to claim that that's like diverse and good representation.
You know who my favorite character was in the original in the prequel Star Wars? I know that all the Acolyte fans are saying that you're a racist if you don't like the Acolyte. You know my favorite character was in the original Star Wars trilogy as a kid? Mace Windu. That guy is a fucking mad lad. Absolute goddamn Giga Chad. The way that absolute beast just walked up to Boba Fett and sliced his head off in the Clone Wars. Or how he was pinning down Chancellor Palpatine in the third one. Like, absolute mad lad character. Also, a black man. Like, oh my god, that's crazy. How is that even possible? Because he was a badass character. Then Mace Windu went out the window, and that was tragic. But you get my point. Like, people don't hate this game because there are black characters. People hate this game because it's shit.
They're just insulting the people that they're trying to stand up for. It's a terrible take. I pointed out a similar thing in my video yesterday about Dustborn. Another post on our Concord says, will we hit double digits today?
Trying to hit double digits?
Yeah, this game's in serious trouble. A top response talks about society just being hateful.
Oh my
it's
God.
really weird how some people are getting so defensive about this game.
See, I think society is hateful. Society is a lot more ready to hate on things that they don't like. For example, me. A lot of people on Twitter don't like me. Did they get a proper chance to get to know me? I don't think so. But does that matter? No. For whatever reason, because of one snippet of one tweet that they saw once, they hate me now. And they're gonna fucking go after me and my family and try to dox me and call the police on me and try to literally fucking ruin my life. People do that. They try. And honestly, I have nothing but respect for them to continuing to try hard. It's not easy these days to hate people on the internet, but it happens. That said, I don't make my entire identity about how the world is not fair. I don't think that the reason why I get hate on Twitter is because people are anti-Semitic. I think it's because people on Twitter are fucking brain dead. The difference is, I make a living doing what I do on YouTube. I have more people watching me than people paying for this $100 million game. Like, this is just the world, and you fucking failed.
But like this response reads, this isn't even hate. It's being a part of an event. It's a spectacle at this
True! And I'm here to milk the Concord. That's right, baby.
point. All right, so I think that's like the main stuff that I wanted to show you guys regarding Concord's launch. We got the game flopping, one of their game devs freaking out on Twitter, gaming journalists trying to cope with this disaster, and some Redditors getting oddly defensive about the whole thing. Let me know what you think about...
I love how you have all these people defending the game, but they're not playing it. It's like, if all the people defending Concord would be playing Concord, Concord would have players. But they don't. Explain to me how there are more people defending Concord than playing Concord. Yeah, it's almost like it's because of some sort of side in the conflict, and not actually because they actually give a shit about the game. Concord's pathetic sales are out, and the cope is immense. It keeps getting worse. Concord estimates have sold only 25,000 units. Oh no!
IGN says Concord is estimated to have sold only 25,000 units. Here's why analysts think it's failing. Yes, because we totally need
We need analysts! Oh my fucking god, these people are morons! Morons! Yeah, let's hire analysts to figure out why the game is failing. Maybe it's because it's a shit game.
Professional analysts to break this down for us.
Yeah,
you know,
right,
the
let's
funny
go.
thing is their own analysts don't even get the whole situation right.
Oh,
Can you guess what some of these analysts and journalists are leaving out of the equation?
All right, let me guess. Is it that the analysts are saying that it's because of the racist bigots on Twitter that hate fat people that aren't playing the game?
That's a rhetorical question, by the way. I'm sure you can. So they say, sadly, making a fun, high-quality shooter is not enough in the oversaturated live service space these days. Many of the analysts I spoke to lamented the reality. As they pointed out, Concord has been in development for years now, a substantial financial and time investment for Sony, and incredibly talented people worked on it. Hey, that sounds familiar. Where have I heard that before? Oh, that's right. It was that one developer who worked on Concord and said that the critics were a bunch of talentless freaks. but that the people who worked on it were insanely talented.
True.
And that the game is awesome.
True.
By the way, here's something else that's funny.
You know what's so mind-blowing? You'll have a game like Concord, the most generic piece of shit on the planet, and it doesn't do well. Then you have Among Us. Among Us made $1 billion, and it's 2D graphic shit content. But because it's a novel concept, because it's a fun game, you could get away with it. And they sold it for $10 a pop. They made $1 billion. Among Us generated $86 million in 2022. So since then, a lot more, obviously. Like, and Among Us is shit quality. Like, you look at Undertale. How much did Undertale make? Okay, so Undertale made $100 million since it's released, according to this article. If that's the case, then how could you possibly blame it on graphics only?
Their Twitter bio used to say, previously on Concord. And now in the present time, it looks like they've removed that.
They removed it! I thought you were proud of your game, bro! I thought you were proud of your game!
I guess they don't want to be associated with Concord after all. Back at IGN, they say, why isn't Concord selling? Usually when I reach out to analysts for comment on a piece like this, they largely have similar assessments of the big picture, but can offer differing perspectives on certain details. In the case of Concord, everyone I spoke to agreed on the reasons it had failed. Concord suffered from poor marketing.
Oh my fucking god. Can the people stop with this poor marketing? You know why that's a fucking brain dead take? Asmongold made a video titled 100 million for this. This is a video with 700,000 views, okay? This is 700,000 people that have been introduced to Concord. This is another million people that were introduced to Concord. Okay? Shut the hell up with this excuse of the marketing is not good enough.
A high price point, and most critically, a lack of differentiation.
I feel like we're living in a society, I was actually just talking to somebody about this recently. We're living in a society where people think that advertising and marketing is the only way to generate sales. That's not true. Prime Energy from Logan Paul and KSI had some of the craziest marketing campaigns in the history of the world. They are losing money. They are literally losing money, and they're getting sued for their declining profits right now. There's a reason why, despite the fact that Feastables chocolate from Mr. Beast is one of the probably most expensively advertised companies in the world, it is literally promoted in videos that have hundreds of millions of views each. And despite that fact, it is still getting absolutely eclipsed by other chocolate companies. Why? Because the product is bad. And ultimately, if the product is bad, like the chocolate tastes like bark, or if the Prime Energy drink tastes like lightly flavored piss, obviously people aren't gonna want to buy it. There aren't gonna be repeat customers. The product is always gonna be king. The marketing can never, ever, ever carry the product. The product needs to carry the product.
The analysts decided it was the lack of marketing.
Yeah, sure. If the game would be good, it wouldn't matter. Undertale had no marketing. Zero marketing. But it made $100 million. With terrible graphics.
In an oversaturated genre. The rest of the article goes on to break those points down, but we really don't need to hear anything further. So
Nux Jew 101 economy class. Let's go. This video is going to be titled Nux and Jew and Asmongold react to Concord.
They're right about the price point and the lack of differentiation. It's like I said days ago, Concord didn't give himself a good competitive advantage. However, blaming a lack of marketing is a really bad take, because many games out there have had far less marketing than Concord and still became massive success stories.
And you don't even need to look at these big games. Among Us, Undertale, FNAF, Five Nights at Freddy's. That had no advertising. It blew up because it was something that caught on because people liked it and it spread like that. Guys, you're crazy.
The most important thing, though, are the things that they're not mentioning. The things that they're conveniently...
None of the analysts that are brought on to look at this is like, yes, I'm recognizing it is the fact that your game is dog shit and the characters are ugly.
Leaving out. Most specifically, the...
You look at the most popular anime characters of all time. Coincidentally, they're all going to be hot.
Character roster. I mean, seriously, some of the most dull and uninspired characters and designs.
Look, guys, it's Hellfire. It's what's this guy's name? Ranger, he, him.
The character.
He's just generic white man. Can you think of a more generic character design than this? White man with gun. Holy shit.
Roster. I mean, seriously.
All right, we got Asian girl with piercings.
Some of the most dull and uninspired characters.
And she could light a ball on fire.
And designs you could have.
And we got this. I don't even know what I'm supposed to say. Fighting for the Imperium of Man, one space Hulk at a time.
Possibly imagined. If your entire game is going to be...
All right, we got Germa. Every game needs a Germa. All right. This is the most uninspired character design of all time. This is like they pissed on a fungus.
Based on the niche of being a hero shooter, you need to make the...
Like, what is this? Like, what is this design? It's like the Ice Cube Pokemon mixed with Mrs. Freeze. And then they took out any possible interesting characteristic. It's just a person with a box on their head.
those heroes interesting, somehow with their years of development.
And then, of course, we got the he/him robot. And Bumblebee! And Bumblebee!
Massive funding and all these alleged insanely talented people.
Yes. Black guy with gun. Not to be confused with white guy with gun. That was a totally other character.
On the game, none of them got that right. It's off like this is...
I don't even know, man.
DEI the game. Like, they tried to appeal to a certain niche of the quote-unquote modern audience, as we see corpos say nowadays. Like, they really tried to capture that Twitter cop crowd. And of course, this is something that these corpo journalists and analysts are not going to recognize. They're not going to mention this stuff.
I can make fun of every single one of these characters. Like, I was just memeing in the beginning, but then I realized I could actually make fun of every single one of these characters.
Well, guess what? We will. Sure enough, the top response on their own article says, "You also forgot that the character designs are unappealing. Look at First Descendant. If you made your characters look more like that, I would have at least checked it out."
This game is like it's an Overwatch equivalent, okay? These are characters in Concord, okay? Look at this slop on the page right now. I'm just from a distance, okay? The reason why I'm doing this from a distance instead of looking at one character at a time is because one character at a time, you will point out the various flaws. All the flaws in these characters. Like, this is a large amount of flaws in a single person. I'm just gonna show you the slop screen of them all next to each other. I am literally looking at vomit. It is the color palette and stench of vomit, okay? You look at Overwatch characters side by side for a second. Every single character stands out. I'm not an Overwatch fan, okay? Just to be clear, I am not an Overwatch fan. But every character sticks out. Every single one of them. That's crazy. Like, look at this. Look at this. This is just the faces. Okay, that's pretty, not very good quality. Look at the hero gallery. Super tiny, but they all look different. Bro, I wonder why Overwatch is getting love when our game is not. That's crazy. That's crazy that happens. It's probably because racists or something.
And another top response says, "I knew before I even clicked on this article that IGN would refuse to even mention one of the biggest reasons for this flop. Gamers are sick to death of forced DEI. These corporations put too much stock in social media discourse, which turns out doesn't translate to real life. It's like they're making games for...
People on Twitter are not real people.
The identity...
But also, I don't even think it's the DEI that made this game fail. I see people talking about the DEI stuff, the reason why it's failed. I don't even think it's the DEI. I think it failed because it's just the most boring slop game in the history of time. It is just so wildly boring. I think the DEI doesn't help. The fact that it's like, oh yes, and we also have an agenda that we are pushing with every character. That's pretty awesome. But again, I just think it's because the game is slop.
Politics-obsessed Twitter crowd, when those are not the people actually buying games. They're just the people that have had the loudest voices on
those aren't real people.
The internet for the past decade, which thankfully that seems to be shifting. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with diversity in gaming, but it's obvious when it's just forced pandering, trying to tick as many boxes as possible. If the reasons listed in the article were the true reasons for Concord's failure, please explain to me the huge success of Deadlock, a game that could be considered a type of hero shooter that received essentially zero marketing and already had players that dwarf Concord before the game was even formally announced. What's your expert take on that, IGN?
Goddamn.
And let's conclude by...
Here, let's look at Deadlock characters just for a second. We'll do the test. They're all iconic. Every single one is iconic. They look cool. Even this guy with the fucking mustache. Pockets, Seven looks cool. Shiv at least looks iconic. Vindicta, Vicious, Lady Geist, Kelvin, Ivy. They look cool! Or at least somewhat cool. They don't look like the homogenized slop of Concord. Dude, look at this. They literally look like slop. You can't even make this up. That's aside from being a boring ass game.
Going back to the news of Concord sales. So if they really only sold 25,000 units at 40 a unit, that's like $1 million in sales.
Oh, they're only at a $99 million deficit right now.
Allegedly, they spent between $50 million to $150 million on this game. In which case, with those pathetic sales, then Concord is actually one of the most impressive failures in gaming of all time. So let me know what you think about all of this stuff in the comments. As always, thanks for tuning in, and if you enjoyed my coverage, consider like.
Yeah, you did a good job, Hero Hank. What's the IGN review on this shit on YouTube? Yeah, I'm not sitting through all this. Where's the fucking score at the end? Oh, there's the little hexagon shit.
Signature game mode, I still found myself losing dozens of hours to its PvP charms.
Yeah, you and another 20 people all lost their fucking virginity to this game. It's pretty awesome.
Hopefully the live service roadmap will do its thing and
it's gonna be a 7 out of 10.
Show this promising shooter the love it needs to become something truly special. But right now, it's at least good enough for me to recommend.
Oh my fucking god, these people are like literal fucking slop. This is actually insane. They gave Wukong an 8 out of 10. Now they're giving this a 7 out of 10. I'm telling you, IGN, they're actual piss babies. Every game made by Sony is getting at least a 7 on IGN no matter what. These people are not real. They're not real people. The generic 7 out of 10 score that you'll give every single Sony title. 7 out of 10 for a Sony title is a 0 in my book. These people are like actual brain dead. They're not connected at all to the real life. Like, it is this actual human centipede of Sony shits out garbage, which gets eaten by IGN and gets shit out as more garbage. Can't spell ignorant without IGN. Anyway, this has been the Concord situation. Closing thoughts, if you don't like Concord, you're probably a racist. Stay weird, fam. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.